I bleed silver and black, and I wear it with pride. Hold my shield to the sky. I'm a Raider for life. 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 I'm a Raider for life.
Touchdown, Raiders! But we're here with Wayne Mabry. How do I pronounce it?
Mabry. Yeah.
He's known as the #1 superfan in my eyes, the Violator. How you doing today, Wayne?
I'm doing fine, Mikey. How about yourself, brother?
Okay, I guess Raider Nation would like to know, how did you come up with the name and became a Raider superfan called the Violator?
Well, I've been a Raider fan since 1970, and I guess the Violator has been like my alter ego since I was a kid.
Was there anything specific that just happened where you're like, let me design the costume, or you got hit on the head or anything like that?
Well, basically, I was assumed to have been dropped on my head as an infant, but I've always been in superheroes, and I just figured a superhero for the football world would look like what my costume looks like.
And why the number 57?
That's a tribute to Jerry Robinson, who used to be a linebacker for us back in the good old days.
Greg Townsend's best friend, as I asked him in an interview just recently. So when did you officially become the Violator? You probably said it, but I didn't.
1991, I brought him out of the closet.
And do you know how many Raider games you've been to up to this point in your life?
Haven't kept count, brother. I'm just counting memories, and they're endless.
Believe me, they are. How did you make the costume? Like literally, did you buy a jersey, then go to a shop, or do it yourself?
It was what you call it. It evolved over the years. When I first broke out in '91, I probably looked more like something out of Mad Max. But the concept was there. I just had to get all of my tools, as you know, I put it, all my tools together to put the finished product together, and that took a number of years. So around 93, 94, it was fully done. So it's like a nice project car. I tweaked it here and there, got some better parts and switched everything out, but I knew how I wanted to look from day one.
Yeah.
So what you see now is a accumulation of all those years.
Would you mind estimating a value of how much it cost you to make?
Probably in the neighborhood of $1,600.
And is it just one costume, or is it like a superhero where you got like a shelf of 10 different ones?
That's on my bucket list, to get like Batman, where I can just go in a certain room and I've just got them hanging there. But right now it's just one, so it's like priceless.
Yeah, it's a really unique costume, and it looks clean. Every time I see it, it looks sparkling, beautiful, and like it's never been used before.
The key word is clean, keeping it clean like a classic auto. Once you get it to where it is, just polish it and send her out there. She's ready.
And the V shape mark on your face, how did you come up with that design?
That's just kind of a tribal thing. It means going to war. So, anybody that has like a tribal background can relate to that, because they know every line means something to me.
Well, one of those lines, can you make it for me? I'd love to have a line on your head. I think it'd be awesome. Are you best friends? Do you call yourself a super group, like you and the super fans? Are you guys listed as like, I know you're the Raider Nation, but are you like, I don't know, a community of like 10 of you?
It's actually a community of more than 10 of us. Me personally, I don't consider myself super anything, just super intense. What do you call it? Just what's the phrase? Let me dig in my vocab here. Insane super fan. You're hardcore, basically, because that's what I started out, just being a hardcore fan. My disease, I call it Raider 2 doses, and it's a terminal illness. You can't get rid of it. You'll die with it.
I love that. I think I saw that on some of your websites or shirts or something.
Yeah. I kind of put it out there. I've got a shirt that kind of describes the disease for anybody who really knows they have it. I would love to get that on every Raider fan.
What's it called again? Say it out loud and clear.
Raider, 2 doses.
Well, that's the only disease I want.
That's the only one that we need. That's what we all have. Is just coming to grips with it. You know what I'm saying? Getting your head around it.
Yeah, I love that. Everybody, look out for his shirts. I will have links to my website. You guys can get that from Wayne himself. All right, let's go into this. You're an LA Raider fan, and then when they moved to Oakland, did you continue?
Let's bag up. I'm a Raider fan.
There
Period.
you go. Thank you. It doesn't matter LA or Oakland, correct?
I hate all of that. I'm a Raider fan. Period.
Thank you. Doesn't matter whether it's LA or Oakland. It's
Let
the
me
Raiders.
let me show you how deep it is. We're global. So get it. Ain't no sections. We're global.
Thank you. Thank you. All you Oakland fans.
I just want to say that.
I love that. I thought that was great. Favorite Raider game that you've appeared in or you went to?
Wow. Other than being at the Super Bowl and not being able to get inside the stadium, I would say the AFC Championship playoff against the Tennessee Titans.
Yep. I actually went to the Super Bowl. $4,600 out of my pocket to watch
Well
them
worth
lose.
it.
Well,
History.
yeah. No,
But
again,
history.
I just,
Priceless to us because that's history.
I was.
I'm hoping I'll be around for the next one. I'll find some way to get inside.
I'll get you in. Don't worry. We gonna get in. Me and Violator. It'll be a tag team. Mikey Raider and Violator.
There you go.
I love
There
it.
you go.
You know what? Since I brought that up, Tim Brown last year talked about Sabotage, and I made a video. Maybe you haven't seen it. I'll send you the link. But I kind of put a lot of clues together from video footage that
Right.
kind of shows that something happened. What are your thoughts on that?
Just from personal stories and just a little of in-house know-how. Sabotage wouldn't be the word I would use. It was just that the whole scenario with Gruden going over there, us not changing any of our sequences, neither offense or defensively, they knew our whole game plan. So it's like knowing your enemy going into battle. You know its weaknesses and strengths. You play on that.
Correct. Yeah. Again, maybe this. I like talking about this because I like talking about Raiders. But if you're Bill Callahan and you're going into the playoffs and you know you got the number one offense and you know Tampa Bay's going in, why don't you start changing 1 or 2 plays a week? Because you might meet John Gruden, who knows the entire team. I know defensively he might figure it out, but both the defensive coaches for the Raiders and the offense should have changed a couple of plays.
Well, Mikey, where I grew up, that's called cutting your nose off to spite in your face.
Really? Explain
Yes.
that. So they shouldn't do it? They shouldn't have changed a couple of plays in case they met Tampa Bay?
That's stand pat just for the sake of stand pat. Too proud to make a change. When you're in battle, you've got to switch on the fly. And any good warrior knows that.
So you're saying they should have started to make a change once they entered the playoffs and they
Always in any game. That's where the coaches are there. The players can't go and change it themselves, without being accused of just calling their own plays. Like back in the day, it was done on the field.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
But if a coach is gonna be like, well, I'm in charge, you're gonna do it like I'm calling it. That's what I mean. You're just cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah. I would love you to see that video I made. It actually got a lot of response. ESPN and CBS Sports hit me up and asked if they can use it. And I'm like, if you guys get the official rights to all the NFL film footage, go ahead. But I put it together like a conspiracy theory. No, it has over 100,000 views, and it's been almost tried to take down about 7 times so far. But I'll show it to you. I'll send you a link. You're gonna really like it.
And not harping on that whole deal. If you were there, you saw the frustration building within the team as the game went on.
Correct.
It was a close fought contest, and then all of a sudden, as they went further into the playbook, well, they already knew what was coming next, so they just set up camp and just waited for him. It's like setting a perfect trap.
Yep. I agree. Well, look, we got to get into the new Raiders because they always yell at us Raider fans.
There you go.
For talking about the past. Why don't you guys Raider fans get over it? Yeah, kiss my butt. Okay. I'm never going to get over it. I'm always going to remember. Remember the Raiders. That's what it is. You know what? Just for the last conversation, the super fans, why? Oh yeah, I was going to ask you this yesterday. I know a lot of you super fans are at the games. Do you pay for your own tickets, or are you sponsored by any corporation or anything?
So far, out of 23 years, Mikey, no sponsorship. I pay for everything out of pocket.
So, do some of the fans, the special fans or super fans, do you know if they have deals or anything like that?
I have no knowledge that I could put my name to as far as that happening. Me personally, I don't have any sponsorship. Everything I've done has been out of pocket.
Yeah, that's true dedication right there. Um, do you think there should be sponsorship for the super fans? You get it, where maybe the actual Raiders organization or whoever, where they just bring you guys to every game to get that costume theme out.
I wouldn't say yes to that because there's always a trade-off with that. It's almost like getting strings attached to you. Then you become a puppeteer, a marionette type of deal.
Wow.
I fight that with every ounce of my, body, not to get hooked up into situations such as that. Because right now I can pretty much go where I want, do what I want, but I'm still representing my team, and everybody knows that.
Dude, I totally see your point. I get it. Because I'm an actor, so I'm a puppet already just to make a dollar to go see my
Right.
Raiders. But in the long run, again, if you're more popular on more of the media news network, I know money is evil. I get that. But you're able to open up to Oakland or LA fans for charity events, for the kids, and all that because now you're a bigger entity.
Right.
That is one reason I want organization for the super fans. Again, because now worldwide, we are worldwide, we can even do more and bring a better Raider Nation message, you know, in the future. That's the only reason I would beg for some sort of an organizational type feel.
It would be great in that aspect because I do a lot of charity work during the season and the off season, so it keeps me pretty busy. And just that feeling that you get back from participating and stuff like that, that's along with that priceless area. You can't even go into anything perceiving that feeling that you're gonna leave with.
Yeah,
So, and then you're affecting other people's lives. So that's priceless within itself.
yeah, but it's always nice to get at least your gas money so you can go help
Oh,
a
of
lot of
course,
people.
of course, of course. I couldn't agree with you more. But it's always giving back. So you know, any fan. I don't want to get into that super fan, but any fan who chooses to do this on its own time, my hat's always off to them.
Do you have a favorite besides yourself? Just one costume or one idea that you look at and you go, that's pretty dang cool. I like that.
To be honest, I'm partial. I like them all
You're awesome. See?
because it's an expression of what's inside of you. It's your spirit that you're putting out there for the world to see. Mine is just an expression of what I feel like every day inside. On Sundays, I just get to let you see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kiss your ass one more time because you
Yeah.
were you were honestly mine. Again, I was a 49er fan growing up because of
Okay.
Joe Montana and Jerry
Right.
Rice and all that.
I can understand.
But my grandfather, I loved football. I couldn't play it. I was always the fat kid. I just wasn't good athletically. So one day, my brother would go to Laker games and Dodger games. And then one day, my grandfather picked me up on a Sunday and said, we're going to a game. I ended up at the LA Coliseum watching the Raiders versus the Broncos. Had the greatest time of my life. And unfortunately, my grandfather actually passed away that evening
Wow.
in his sleep. So,
Oh,
yeah, but
sorry to hear that, man. My heart goes out to you.
but the greatest event of my life. He bought me, like a hot dog and then a foam finger. And then, so I became a Raider fan from that day forward. And then around that time, that was like 93 or 94.
Okay, so I was probably out there somewhere.
Yeah, I think I was 16 years old or something, 17. So that was right around the time where I remember you. And then I started learning the history of the Raiders and the toughness and the Al Davis and, the kick-ass. And Violator came on my screen.
Right.
The image of the spikes and everything. So you
Yeah.
were actually my favorite super fan growing up. I mean, I love everybody now, but You are the image of the LA Raiders to me.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. And at that time, it was just me as, I was so wound up with the juice of the day, as you call it, that I wanted everybody to not be that LA laid back cool, but express themselves like you were at a football game. I would have people around me like, why do you never sit down? Because I'm at a football game. I got too much energy to sit. I want everybody up stomping. So I moved my seats over to the end zone, which was all metal at the time, the Pirates Pavilion. So I figured I could stomp on that and raise enough noise and get all these youngsters who weren't too ashamed to get up. That's how we started that whole thing.
Yeah, you mean the black hole, correct?
Well, it was the Pirates Pavilion within the LA days.
Yeah, yeah. I thought the black hole actually started in the LA days.
No, that's an Oakland thing. Yeah, it was just the Pirates Pavilion, and it was just a way of us just making noise to distract the other team.
Yeah.
And it worked a lot. But that I wanted to see that whole Coliseum just wake up with that same energy. Yeah. And so that's what drove me in the younger days.
I love it. I do have those memories of you guys banging onto the side and everything, and every time the camera would come around, you're like, pain, bring the pain.
Yeah, bringing pain, baby. That's till the day they put me in the ground. That's my credo, bring pain.
I love it. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's get into the new Raiders. What's your thoughts of this new regime since Al Davis passed away, and I don't know, just a general view of what's going on?
I'm going to paint this kind of picture for you, Mike. It's like young pups coming out of the nest for the first time, or the lion's den, so to speak. They're coming out into the world. It's time for them to make their own mark on us as fans, on society as a whole, and not live under any cloud from Raiders past. This is the future. And Al always says the greatness in the Raiders is in its future. So it's going to be exciting for us just to see how these guys stand up as men, make their place in the NFL world.
Do you think the Oakland Raiders have been too soft with prima donna players or money-oriented players, or just in general, like not really football-esque, more, drama queens or whatever?
I have seen a little bit of everything you just named, personally. That toughness, that's attitude. You ask any old player who ever wore the cleats out there, they'll tell you that toughness that we all want to see as fans is what's been missing. Leadership has been another one. And, you can't make leaders. Leaders are born. So either through scouting or drafting or whatever the case may be, we just haven't brought those guys in. And that's what you need, is a collective group of guys like that, leaders and followers, guys willing to go through walls. That's what brings that whole Raider mystique back, and not so much on the fan base, the guys on the field themselves.
Correct. Believe me, I totally agree. So in general, Reggie and Dennis Allen, pretty much in their third year, you have any problems? How do you see that they're doing?
This is a do or die year. If you want to know my personal opinion, it's a do or die year. The team is young enough to where, you're only going to be so viral, and they're at the peak of viralness right now. They've got a mixture of veterans, which I love us bringing those guys in, a la free agency, because they have been winners in their respective teams. So that influxance of youth and old school, or just experience in general of winning, that taste of winning, that's something that you have to acquire. And once that comes together, along with good coaching, I might add, coaching is a big part of it also. I think we'll get back to where we used to be, respectability at the least, and back where we're in the playoffs every year. The hell with, it's Denver and San Diego and KC, and we're just the doormats. The hell with that. It's time out for that.
Yeah. Again, on the field, I can't judge Reggie McKenzie or Dennis Allen because nothing has happened on the field.
Correct.
But unfortunately, with Al Davis's passing, the house was a mess. Our house was a mess in terms of money, contracts,
Contracts, right.
basically the state of our business. And Reggie McKenzie has played Moneyball, and he's got people on 1-2 year deals, free agents. I get it, but they're not preloaded. So therefore, in 2 years, if we hopefully we draft well, we have more money in 2 years because we did the contracts the correct way, where we can continue to try to find those good free agents and try to get the good drafted players. So he basically did build a foundation behind the scenes for the
Exactly.
for the future. It just hasn't shown on the field yet, but that's my opinion, that he's done a hell of a good job managing the finances for this Oakland Raider team at this moment.
I couldn't agree more, and I call it the pieces of puzzle. We're waiting to see how all those pieces are going to fit together, and what sort of picture they're going to collectively project out to us. And that's when you'll see it in the wins and losses.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is unfortunately this is a do or die year because you can't give him 4 to 5 years.
No,
You got
no,
you got
not in today's NFL. No.
you have to give him 3 years to see if it's working. So we've had 4 wins 2 years in a row. We have to have 8, 7 to 8 this year, at least to possibly save his job.
And if I could interject, us as a fan base, nobody can say we haven't been patient, because we have, and we've been with them through thick and thin, and we're looking forward to like blowing some of that good foam off a latte, if you get me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's about time for that. So I'm looking forward to this season with great anticipation, and like I'm already getting goosebumps talking about it now. But just seeing it in person, you can't put it into words. You have to be there for that whole atmosphere, because we've been carrying our weight all these years, even in losing causes. So you imagine when they're winning.
Oh, believe me, I'm thrilled every time the Raiders get a victory, and that's sad to say because I haven't had many for 10 to 11 years. Okay, what would be another good question? Oh, yeah, this is going to be a topic this week. Terrell Pryor will be traded before Monday. And this is a very big topic for Raider Nation last year. Raider Nation was divided between Terrell Pryor and basically a pocket passer, they call him. I don't know why.
Right.
What is your opinion on Terrell Pryor and why it didn't work in Oakland?
Just from my observations, and that's all I can go on, Mikey. I like, it seemed to me that when he was in the game, the team always had a little bit of get up about him. Just the excitement that he brought as a player himself to it, the versatility. He's a fierce competitor, because I watched his career in college, and with Ohio State, and he was a great leader there. So I don't know about all this so-called drop-off since he became a pro. Every game that I saw him in, he competed, whether it was sacrificing himself or whatever it took. And that's actually the Raider way, by any means necessary. So with losing him, that's going to be a piece that's going to be hard to replace. And I kind of liken it to when we lost Rich Gannon. That was the last good quarterback that we had there.
Correct. Yeah, he wasn't in their system when Dennis Allen and McKenzie started the new regime. He wasn't in their system. He just wasn't. They kept him on as a legacy for Al Davis, and I just wish Terrell Pryor would have realized that a year or two ago as a human being, and maybe asked for a release when he had a little bit of clout to him. Because unfortunately he became predictable and didn't play so good, plus benched a couple of times for Matt McGloin. So now it is kind of hard for him to get a second string job.
Right. Well, at that time it was like musical chairs with our quarterbacks. So you never had any consistency on the field. And to me, that hurt us a lot offensively.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of drama with Terrell Pryor, whether it be his agent or, Marcel Reese would even attest to it in the locker room. Just, he's a young guy. He just doesn't know how to react yet. He's won his whole life, So when problems come, I just don't think he was prepared, So he reacted very differently, and blamed everybody. If he threw an interception, As you saw, there's some video footage on my thing where he blames the other guys for the interception. Well, you got to get to a
Right.
point in your life where you go, where the coach says, "What happened?" You go, I shouldn't have thrown the ball. Doesn't
And
matter.
that's leadership right
Correct.
there.
And he didn't do that this year. And again, I do a lot of videos, and Marcel Reese in one of the videos, you don't know what he's talking about, but he comes out and they said, "How do you feel about Matt McGloin becoming the starter?" And he goes, "Well, Matt's a leader." And this and that.
Wow.
And he goes, "Matt leads in the locker room." And then the reporter asked him, said something about, "Oh, well, you didn't say Terrell Pryor was a leader?" He goes, "Well, Terrell Pryor is trying to become a leader." That's exactly what he said.
So there's a difference right there from the inside.
That's how Marcel Reese, Pro Bowl
Right.
fullback, felt. And I think a lot of Raider fans felt like that as well. So unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
Well, I wish him all the best wherever he lands, you know.
Correct. I think you should go to Washington, back up RG3. Do you got a guest or a visitor?
Nah, they can wait.
Well, we're almost done. We got 4 minutes left. So I think you should go to Washington with RG3 or San Francisco back up, Kaepernick, because those style of quarterbacks seem like it might fit him.
Right. It's similar systems, yeah.
Carolina as well.
He might do well over there.
Correct, What's your favorite new Raider or free agent move this season?
Actually, Justin Tuck is one of my favorite moves. I like that.
You can't say, you can't say fuck the Tuck anymore.
Well, when you're trying to bring in Patriots on that.
No, but you get it. You can't say fuck the Tuck anymore because it would be disrespect to him, Justin.
Exactly. But if I say Tuck, it's about the Tuck rule. But But let's see. Who else I thought was a good pickup? You know what? Everybody's down in Lamar Woodley. Now, there's a guy who comes from a winning organization who I think is going to show leadership qualities and come in with a major chip on his shoulder.
That's a good pickup.
So I'm waiting to see how that one pans out personally because I love linebackers.
You look like a linebacker, and you have
That was my position in school.
you have a number of a linebacker on your outfit.
Yes.
So we love it, believe me. In the first round of the NFL draft, are you going to be watching, and who would you hope that the Raiders pick up?
I will be watching, barring any catastrophes. As far as picks, I'm knowing Jadavian won't be there. I'm pulling more for a left tackle or the Mack kid.
Khalil Mack
Khalil Mack, yes.
the linebacker.
Yes.
What about Sammy Watkins? He might be there, the wide receiver.
Wouldn't shake my head too much if they happen to pull him off, but I don't think he'll be there either.
So left tackle, really, even after the signing of Donald Penn, you think?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You can never have enough big guys up front.
that is a very good point. So, well, I thank you for being a part of this, and I really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we can hang out and actually go to a game or celebrate a victory.
Well, just put that on that list because the pleasure was mine, and I look forward to more talks with you.
Yeah, could I get? It sounds really dumb, but I do this thing called Raider Yells, where on the webcam they say Raiders or touchdown Raiders, and then I put it together in videos of the Raider Nation and fans saying it. So would you mind giving me a Raider yell?
Pain, baby! Bring the pain!
What about a Raiders?
Raiders! All day!
I love it. And so promote anything you would like, website or charity or anything like that, anything you just want to get out there.
Well, like I say, we were talking about the apparel, and that's my big thing right now is pushing my apparel line. So go to moto-sports.com and check out my gear. It's stuff for men, women, and I will have youth line in there pretty soon.
And last piece of advice for a young, brand new Raider fan, not Oakland fan, brand new Raider fan, any advice on creating a character or becoming a part of the Raider Nation with a costume or anything like you? Because you're such an icon to me.
I got about 3 words. Just keep it real.
That's it. Keep it like they want it, however they want. That's awesome.